I'm Christos.
I'm Audrey.
And first of all, thank you everyone for coming. We're really excited to be here in this beautiful space. Thank you guys, Michael and Andrew, for hosting. It's been really a pleasure to connect with both of you and just see your passion for, you know, the history, the arts, the culture, the architecture. It's really amazing that we get to do events in the Bay Area in a lot of beautiful historic spaces, certainly including this one. And I think it's become really a central part to the life of the community and the culture that we are really inspired to be a part of here. And Musaics, Audrey founded Musaics of the Bay in 2018-19, about. She's a pianist who grew up here in the Bay Area. Some of the people here have actually been hearing her perform since she is about 11. And so, anyway, we joined forces several years ago. I have another salon series out in New York called Autumn Salon, where we host a lot of intimate gatherings like this as well. But here in the Bay, it's taken on a kind of life of its own, and it's really been amazing to just learn more about the history of what's happened here, of the values, of the creativity, of different generations contributing to it. And I think we really feel like with our organization, we want to help continue that tradition. And we invite out certain artists, whether they be musicians. We do a lot with classical chamber music, but we also work with other musical traditions. We've actually worked with Musaics that Andrew just mentioned for the last couple of years, doing a project that brought together classical ensemble chamber music with the Persian melodies and classical composition. But we basically work with musicians. We often work with visual artists and also with local writers, and we will very often commission new works, both musical and artistic, and premiere them all together to kind of weave together this tapestry or mosaic, so to speak. But with this series of house concerts, we received a grant this year from the city to do these community concerts, and we thought it would be really nice to do them in beautiful spaces. And so we just invited artists that we've been working with that we really want to feature and share more with the community, which is what we're doing tonight with Nigel Armstrong. And there's some other things I can get to afterwards, but I think that's pretty good for now. And you want to say a little bit about Nigel?
I'll just say just a few words about Nigel Armstrong, who will be performing tonight. He is probably one of our favorite artists to work with, like in the whole world. He's just extraordinary, and he's not only an extraordinary violinist, but he's also one of the kindest people you'll ever meet in your whole life. And Nigel was part of Musaics for our very first concert in 2019. So he's really been part of what we've been trying to shape and interweave in the Bay Area since the very beginning. So he's a very special part of what we do, and I think you're gonna feel that tonight. You're in for a treat. So
yeah. And just as we left the program a little vague, it was because Nigel is not only a wonderful, amazing classical player, but he's also an amazing improviser. And so we wanted to leave room for whatever felt naturally creative in the moment to happen, and maybe he'll say a little bit about what he's going to play, but it's going to involve playing a Bach partita where he'll be improvising in between each movement to sort of connect the movements, but I'll let him say a little bit about that. So anyway, please welcome Nigel Armstrong.
Maybe I'll just start with the movement of music, and then I'll kind of introduce what I'm going to do with the program from there. It'll be the E major partita of Bach, so I'll start with the prelude. Yeah, hope you enjoy. Everyone. So I had the idea of doing, well, first of all, Christos and Audrey, they're very kind to kind of let me do these carte blanche type of situations performing. And so I had the idea of, because it's spring now, it's such a kind of a springy time of the year, the E major partita, I feel like kind of fits that ethos. And I had the idea of, I've actually never done this before, taking a whole Bach sonata or partita and then kind of splicing it up and inserting improvisations in the middle. But I thought I'd give it a try, see how that goes. And I'm happy to hear suggestions for tunes. If you have something, you'd say later on too between the movements, I can improvise on it, and I'm going to try to work it into the Bach a bit. I'll probably do standalone improvisations. Anyways, just putting that out there. If anyone, I don't have the greatest knowledge of all the tunes out there, but certainly if you can hum it or let me know, or I might be able to know it based on the name. But anyways, I figured I would start with, so between that first movement and the slower second movement, which is to come, I think I'll start with, now I'm trying to think what would make sense. Honestly, one of my favorite tunes, I guess, is Sound of Silence, Simon and Garfunkel. And so I'll see if I can work that in. It might not be quite in the style of Bach, but lilting dance movement of the Bach. I think it's a French dance originally. L-O-U-R-E. Classical piece or something else? Any classical music? Yes?
Do you know Let It Be, the Beatles?
Yes.
It's
They do.
like a nice rhythmic.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. That's great. I actually had in mind maybe doing that tune at some point tonight. So,
Explain it.
Next is the gavotte. So this is kind of it's a dance movement with the theme keeps coming back. It's the gavotte, the rondo. Kind of I forget what the title. Gavotte and rondo, I think is the name of the movement. And there are 6 movements total. I forget if I mentioned that. So just so we know general pacing. Yeah. This is number 3.
Hallelujah.
Better go ahead. This is funny. I know we didn't talk about the viewer, but that was actually another piece I was thinking about doing. So it's a beautiful, beautiful tune. I think I'll start kind of slower in the original style, or more maybe the Jeff Buckley style, I guess, and then I might work in a bit of the Bach that I just. Next up is minuets. And a traditional dance in 3. like a certain mood. Or I've experimented actually sometimes at open mics in Santa Cruz where I just tried to riff on like a color or something like that. It's very very hippie, I guess. But I don't know, just like to go with it. Yes.
Do you know When I Am Laid in Earth from Dido Aeneas by Purcell?
Ooh.
Sorry.
Not off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not going to design
You know, is it G minor? Or I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Or
I
whatever.
couldn't tell you anything like that.
she can. She might be able to.
I've played Dido Aeneas once before, so I'm trying to remember. Yeah. And then.
Yeah.
Wing it.
Sorry.
Try something else. But oh, forget my face.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I'll do. So I didn't get all of it, I think, but I'll play around with that. General, yeah. So this will be Purcell adjacent.
It's a chacon.
It's a chacon?
It's a chacon.
Oh, so, okay. Bach. This is the Bourrée.
How about something from Fiddler on the Roof? Seems appropriate. Or Fiddler Off the Wall.
There's a famous, like, If I Were a Rich Man, right? I'm trying to think, what are some of the tunes that actually could work, I think.
This.
I get ready to...
If I was a wealthy man.
Does it go somewhere else? I'm trying to... I'll riff on that. Okay. Maybe a little bray in there as well. We'll see. Bach.
Oh man,
can-
river,
yeah.
that old downtown, he just keeps rolling. It's from Porgy and Bess.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we don't wanna put that in your head before.
Oh, no,
Bach.
it's good, it's good.
Back to
It's,
I'll
Bach.
try to
it's
get it
from
actually now, so I have-
Showboat,
yeah.
not from Porgy and Bess.
Oh, Showboat.
Showboat.
That's not how it goes, but
This
doesn't
is
matter.
close.
Da, 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 da,
Great, yeah. Maybe I should have done my.
Yeah. Everyone's getting excited now.
I'll see if it comes to me, but yeah. I'll do the maybe the last movement of Bach. I'm trying to think. Yeah, maybe I'll do the last movement of Bach and then maybe some more improvisation. Yeah. So this is the jig, or I guess precursor to the jig, or now it's just yeah. I could do another improvisation. Sorry.
I had you mentioned using more of like a metaphorical association or color or something like that.
Yeah.
What about something around, we were in this space and we kind of had the sun setting and the colors of, like the golden hour and all of that into kind of more dark night, maybe off into sleep, something like that. This progression.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that.
Sure. Yeah, maybe do that as the last.
Yeah, that could be.
I'll have to listen to Old Man River.
That could be like
Get it in my head for
final. Put us to
What?
rest.
What about something from Italian opera?
Italian. Beautiful. Maybe I'll try to merge.
Yeah, that could work well too.
So I'll I do
Like a dying,
Oh.
the woman dying in an Italian opera.
Yeah.
La Boheme, the sun is setting,
Yeah.
and she's, fading, and
Yeah.
And not an uplifting
sort of a
note.
death scene,
Yeah.
What if? Could I do Un mio bambino caro? It's not a death scene. I don't
Do
think.
that.
Yeah.
Whatever you our move to do, yeah.
So I'll work in a bit of O mio babino caro into kind of, yeah. I wonder, how are we on time, by the way?
How's everyone feeling? Okay.
Yeah.
And thanks for kind of turning me loose, Audrey.
Yeah, as you know, you might have noticed, this is not your average classical program. And also to pivot between playing Bach and then putting your mind in a very different place to improvise. I was just wondering if maybe you could just say one thing about that. Because this is the first time I've heard you actually do that in such an in-depth way. But what is that like as far as switching from an improvisational mode, where you're kind of touching on themes, to getting into more of a formalized structure where you really have to adhere precisely to the piece?
I think it is interesting. It is a bit of a different kind of mind space I go into, I think. But
Yeah.
I think Bach actually itself lends itself very well to working with improvisation because it's so, the chordal progressions make so much sense in Bach. And actually with improvisation, a lot of, if one kind of gets lost in a line, one of the things one kind of can learn how to do is how to get back using different chordal progressions to, so actually you can kind of follow some of the Bachian sequences in improvisation to get different places, I guess. And then, I don't know, it's interesting. I think, yeah, it's definitely a different focus. But I feel like Bach also, it's so pristine, kind of the music, so it actually kind of, it's almost can be kind of palate cleansing, I guess, to play that music because it's so, I think it would be different alternating between like playing Paganini or something that's just kind of like virtuosic, maybe more about the technical delivery than the kind of the immaculateness of the notes themselves.
Yeah.
Does doing the improvisations in front of Bach tempt you to be improvisational within the Bach?
Yes, actually, and I've worked in a little bit of ornamenting. I mean, some were just wrong notes, but then some were ornaments in the Bach. But yeah, so actually it has been, from my understanding, I think there was more improvisation in classical music before, that kind of died out. And I think people are bringing it back to some degree, but yeah, so it's kind of neat to play around with that a bit in the Bach.
Yeah, Nigel's really a great example of the kind of artist that we love to work with, and that we want to encourage younger artists who are also, just coming up to experience and be inspired by, which is that bringing that creative energy into classical music, both through interpretation and through improvisation and through composition, really brings classical music back to the fullness that Nigel's alluding to in the 19th century and before. I mean, Bach was an improviser, Mozart, Chopin, Beethoven. I'm sure a lot of great violinists were at the times, and so this was just part of the life energy of the music. And so, I think that makes a difference in performance and also relatability of like, oh, this is unfolding right now. So, yeah, that's I think partly why we feel like Nigel's just such an amazing artist, is that he's doing this on his own. He's working it out and making that journey. So, anyway, he's with us often. So, if you do you want to say anything about Musaics? I should probably say a couple things before we wind down.
Oh, okay. I have two things to say, which is that in order to keep doing these free events and to feature artists at the caliber of what you just saw, we rely on community donations. So if you feel inspired, please feel free to scan the QR code on the back or come talk to me and Christos about that. And the second thing is that if you want to come to another Musaics event, you can sign up for our mailing list, which is right over there. And, there's a third thing, which is the record you should talk about.
And there's also a record over there, which you might have noticed, and some of you know about this already, but we have started our own kind of recording project. I wouldn't call it a label, but it's where we go into different studios and spaces, and they're all analog recordings, all done in one take in front of a small audience like this. And so it goes straight from vintage microphones to reel tape, and then we send it off to be cut and pressed, and we have about a few hundred editions, and then when they go, they're gone. And we commission art for the covers, and we're going to continue doing this. And so our first record is now available, which features Audrey playing piano with another wonderful string player, cellist Tanya Tompkins, and they're doing the Rachmaninoff Cello Sonata. And it was recorded here in Oakland at a recording studio. And so for those of you who still have record players, or maybe who recently acquired record players, since records are coming back, if some of you might know. We're happy to sell you one, and if you're interested, come talk to me or Audrey. But otherwise, we're just so grateful that you guys, Michael and Andrea opened up their space for us tonight and for you all to share in this kind of evening. They're all a little different. This one was definitely more spontaneous. But
What's next?
what is next? Well, we're taking a little break. What's the next thing? We haven't put one in the calendar yet.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be one of our things. There's going to be something. We'll for those who are interested to sign up on the mailing list if you aren't already. But it will involve most likely Chopin with Audrey playing and another based around a local figure here in the Bay who's no longer with us, who was a pianist who did a lot of work introducing classical piano music to the community, whose name?
Julian White.
Yes, Julian White. And so we have some documentary footage of him talking about Chopin, the preludes in particular, and we're going to put together a program where we share a little bit of that film footage, and then Audrey will play the pieces, and so it's sort of like a conversation between generations. But we don't have a date yet for that, but you will be notified through email. So anyway, thank you all for coming. I know there's a little bit of snacks left, so feel free to continue to enjoy them.
Always more wine.
And more wine. And yeah, thank you so much, Nigel, for